Good morning. Welcome to Blue Rose Podcast, episode 91. I'm Karen Barno, your host. Today's going to be a totally different podcast. Today is going to be more from the heart. You know, I'm sure a lot of you youngins don't remember this, but years ago, Sammy Davis Jr. wrote a song called I Gotta Be Me. And it was really popular in its day, and it kind of, fizzled out after, years. So anyway, all of a sudden I was meditating a couple days ago, and that song popped into my head, and it was like a earwig, I think they called it. I couldn't get it out of my head. All I could hear him singing is I gotta be me, I gotta be me. And I'm like, what the heck? And I was sitting there last night, this is a Saturday morning, so on a Friday night, and I was having a drink, and all of a sudden I thought, Karen, you're not being authentic. You're not being true to you. You're not being who you are. And the best way to really describe who I am, when we went to Disney World last year, my sister gave each one of us a t-shirt. And this is one she gave me. I was born to, my purpose is to make people laugh. And I thought, that's so true. When she handed it to me, it was like, oh my gosh. Because a lot of people think that means make them be haha, which I love doing. But it's also to make people, help people be happy, to inspire people. But when I do it, I'm always so serious. I'm always like, and then you got to do these 3 steps. And I'm not really being truthful to my journey. I'm not talking about what I've gone through. And I think we need to know what others have gone through to know that you can come out the other side and realize that if I can do it, if this person who barely made it out of high school, I had to look at my diploma when I crossed the dais to make sure it was signed, who has a speech impediment and can't say my R's and S's, who was abused as a child, who has been bullied numerous times in her life, that I've been able to be relatively successful, or really successful. If I can, so can you. It's just helping you have the keys. I mean, if you could see my house, I think I took pictures of it before, of all the books I've had. I've spent so many years trying to figure out why people do what they do, when really, in the end, it's just the stories we tell ourselves. It's the belief system that we had installed in us as children. And I have to convey that, but I feel like my podcast and my videos are more like Karen Barno, CEO of Arizona Alpha, and not Karen Barno, the blah. I like to have fun. I like to be off the cuff. I don't like to be scripted. And that's why sometimes when you look at my videos, you're like, geez, Karen, that's kind of, you're stuttering, you're this and that. That's who I am, but I'm not conveying truly who I am. About 2.5 years ago, and I haven't really told this story to many, those closest to me, and that's about it. About 2.5 years ago, in 2019, I lost a very dear friend to drug and alcohol, and it was traumatic. And the thing that made it even more traumatic is nobody really knew what happened, because for various reasons, I had to keep it very quiet. And I'm not even going to go into details now, nor am I going to say who it was. Some people will think they know who it was, but they may not be accurate. And it was traumatic. I mean, the last time we talked, it was horrendous. It was, her yelling and screaming and, throwing things, and just, I mean, when she left, I seriously called somebody I knew dearly and said, do you think I should be concerned for my safety? And they're like, yes, you need to get out of there now. And so, like I said, it was traumatic. And then we hit COVID. So I spent 2 years in my head, 2 years trying to help assisted living providers navigate these unbelievably ever-changing seas of COVID. Now, back up a little bit, let's go back to December 2018. I love Scrooge, love that movie. And I make my family watch it every year, and it's the 1947 edition. I made them watch that one. It goes way back. I think that guy is the most perfect Scrooge. And look it up. It's 1947. You have to Google it early because they only show it once or twice on some weird channel, so you have to get it on tape. But I was watching Scrooge, and I was sitting there, and when it was over, I was crying. And my husband looked over at me, and he's like, it's New Year's Eve. Why are you crying? I'm like, I'm just so happy because I realized I need to make change in my life. I need to mix things up. When it comes to December 2019, I want to be a different person. And I wrote down my goals, and then December 19 turned into a dumpster fire, 2021, a dumpster fire, but we all navigated. And I sat down on a piece of paper, December 2019, on a piece of paper and I wrote 3 questions. I wrote down, who am I? Who do I want to be? And how do I get there? And that's what I teach now. Because I want people to understand that once you understand who you are right here, right now, and who you want to be, getting there is easier than we think. Not without some tears, a lot of tears in my case, a lot of tears, a lot of deep looking in. But I can say with complete and total honesty now that I am the most confident person I have been since I was 21 years old. Isn't that sad? Since I was 21, I got just off drift, and I would get confident and then I would get unconfident. Because when I would get confident, I didn't know the tools to keep me in confidence. I didn't know how to change my state in a snap. And I had to learn gradually. And I would learn how to clap my hands to stay awake, or if I got really, irritated, scratch me behind my ear. But I didn't do the how do I change my state? How do I, when I'm feeling mopey and my negative self-talk is telling me what a loser I am, how do I snap out of it? And now I can snap out of it and quickly, versus before, I'd be in it for days, weeks, months, years. So, I tell you this because I want you to know that if you're not really happy right now, you can get there. Because my purpose is to make people laugh, and my purpose is to inspire people to change. And I want you, my hope is for every woman out there to get to the point where they look in the mirror and they love who they see. It doesn't matter. Do I need to lose weight? Absolutely. Do I need to figure out what that is on my nose? Absolutely. Do I need to figure out what I'm going to do next in my life? I pretty much have that figured out, but maybe. Do I need to learn how to convey my message better so you guys understand what I'm saying? Because I feel like I'm not conveying it, or I don't know. I feel like something's missing. And I was talking to somebody 2 days ago at work, and I said I would love to go on a 12-hour hike, because that's, I was reading this Ed Mylight's podcast. He had a guy on there. You go on a 12-hour hike, and the person you come back will not be the person you left. And they said, why? I said, I feel like there's something here, and I can't bring it out. I can't figure out what it is. And then it hit me last night. I'm not being me. I'm trying to be serious. I'm trying to just not be who I am. I'm goofy. I like to have fun. I like to help women heal. I like to help anybody heal, to be honest. I had a friend stop by the office and she bought me all kinds of gems. I didn't even know there was a pistachio calcite. Didn't even know it. It brought me all these gems. I'm very spiritual, and I don't talk about all that. And I got to get back to just being fun. Quit taking myself so serious, because life is what it is. And, when I get around all my counterparts, they're always so serious and so buttoned down. And so I feel like I need to be all serious and buttoned down, but it's just not me. I just want to laugh, love, have fun, spend time with my friends, spend time with my family, and help inspire as many women as I can for you to decide who you are now. Who do you want to be? And let's get you there. I'm doing that 4th quarter challenge over on my Facebook group, Spiritual Confidence, and I'll actually post this over there, where I do videos every day, and they're not scripted. And maybe that doesn't work in my favor. Maybe I need to be more scripted. I don't know. I just know that I've got to be me. So as we go on this 4th quarter journey, a lot's being exposed to me. A lot's being reflected to me. And, everything happens in perfect time. In about, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to go on a VIP retreat, a one-on-one retreat that I've never gone on. Just me and my coach for 2 days. I have never done this. I am so excited and nervous, because it's like, what am I going to learn about myself? Because that's what this stuff is. This journey is to discover who you are. And for women, a lot of times who we are now and who we were before, when I was, 21 and in the Air Force, I was a medic. I was confident. I was rocking and rolling. And a lot of people be like, well, you're a woman. I was a medic. I was surrounded. We were all women. It was marvelous. And we had guys, but it was like I didn't have the same challenges that a female on the flight line had, or, a female in the security forces had. I didn't have that. And I'm worried my dog's going to start barking any minute now because she's getting in that position to bark. So excuse me if she does. But I was so confident because I was confident in who I was. I was confident in what I did. And I think since then I've been kind of unmoored because I haven't had that confidence in who I am. And I allowed too many people to throw elbows. I mean, when I started this not-for-profit 25 years ago, I didn't even know what a not-for-profit was. And they say, okay, you can be the CEO because you make the least amount of money. That's how I became the CEO. And I mean, I think I've done well over 25 years, but I look back and think I could have done things so much better, but I didn't know. And you can't beat yourself up. And I did, during COVID, I beat myself up over that too, thinking, I could have done so much better at this association, and I've let our members down, and I let my board down, and I let my family down, and I let everybody down because I wasn't making, the money I wanted to make. My side hustle wasn't working. I wasn't doing all the stuff I want to do with my team. And it was like a 2-year, I don't want to say a pity party. It was a 2-year, let's peel back the I don't know what you call it, but let's do the deep dive, Karen. And I would sit in my office with these poster boards all over the place. I'm not lying to you, the sticky, that you stick on the wall. And I would write on them every day. Karen, you're this, Karen, you're that. You need to do this, you need to do that. And it was so cathartic because it wasn't like anybody was coming in. It was COVID. Nobody was coming to the office but me. My team was all remote. I'd have a UPS guy drop by every once in a while, and he'd kind of look around and be like, DoorDash would kind of look around like, what's going on here? And sure, housekeeping, because, we still have housekeeping at the office building. They're probably changing their lives, I hope, because they were looking at all this stuff. Okay, if we do this, this will happen. If we do that, this will happen. But it gave me, the past 2.5 years, it gave me a chance to really decide this is who I am. And to say today what is today? Saturday, October 8th, I'm the most confident I've been. I'm the most happiest I've been. And I know who I am. And I know without a doubt, I can help guide, mentor any one of you that is ready to be your best version of yourself. I mean, I still have a lot of inner work to do. I still have a lot of things I need to change, because when we become happy and complacent, then we miss out on stuff. There's so much stuff I still want to accomplish. I'll be 65 November 1st. And there's so much, and I know if you just said, holy crap, I did too. It's like, where'd the time go? I remember when I was 40 and I started this association, and now I'm 65. Wow, time goes by so fast, you guys. When you're younger, you think, oh man, will this ever end? And then when you get on this side, it's like, wow, I want to live to 100. So I got how many years left before, to accomplish so much I want to get done, that I've got to help so many people understand that their best version of themselves is dying to get out. Their best version of themselves wants to blossom. It's just, how do you bring it out? How do you look at what you don't want to look at? How do you heal what you need to heal to be that? And it is a hard path, I know, because I've done it. But I promise you, if you could understand how I feel right now, the sense of peace, the sense of contentment, the sense of self, I want all of you to understand that. I want all of you to have that. And I want you to understand that when bad things happen, your gift is wrapped in there. Your specialized knowledge is wrapped in those bad things happening. I mean, what I've gone through over the past 2.5 years is basically what I've been teaching for years, that I had to use on myself. And, if you go back, way back when, sure, I've been homeless, and, I've been broke, and I didn't have a job. And I mean, I've had all kinds of stuff. And instead of looking at it like, oh, poor me, why'd all this trauma happen to me? I realized, oh, yay me, because now I can show people you can overcome it. You can overcome being homeless. You can overcome sexual abuse. You can overcome people bullying you and pushing you around. A boss who stole my last paycheck, and that's actually why I ended up homeless, because I had no money in the bank. I had been in an accident. I paid $25,000 hospital bill. I moved to a different city. My boss didn't mail my check. I figured out where it was. He stole it. He cashed it. The bank back then, it's like he said he didn't do it. All this. And I spent a lot of years licking my wounds, saying, why me? Why does all this stuff keep happening to me? first of all, what you think about, you bring about. So if you can be a victim or a victor, and I chose to be a victim for many, many years, and when that thing happened 3 years ago, I became a victim. Because when you have abuse in your past, a lot of times you carry that victim mentality, that why me, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve things, I'm not good enough. But I realized that I'm not a victim. I realized I've overcome a lot of crap. You've overcome a lot of crap in your life. We all have. And when I realized that I overcame all this stuff, then I'm a victor. And I want you guys to be a victor. I want you guys to be like, you know what? When you sit there on December 31st, 2023, and you're drinking a glass of champagne or whatever, a glass of lemonade, whatever it is that you drink, I want you to toast yourself and say, I am a victor. I did it. I accomplished my dreams. I want you to have that feeling because it's so fantastic. So this is a really long podcast for me. I got to admit, this is really long. So my podcasts are going to be a lot more real. They're still going to be off scripted because that's who I am, but they're not going to be so serious. They're not going to be me staring at you saying, no, this is another thing. You know, in fact, this is, I got to tell you, because I have this right in front of me. It's so weird. This is one of my favorite books, Think and Grow Rich. I read a little bit of this every day because it helps keep me on task. There's certain books I read all the time. I could probably cite the books to you because I read them so often. Because you need that thing. You need to have a morning ritual. We'll talk about that. You need to have an evening ritual. We'll talk about that. You know, you need to have a flow. But most importantly, you need to be you. As Sammy Davis Jr. sang years ago, I gotta be me. I've got to be me. I can no longer be this person I'm not. A lot of who I show is who I am, but I keep a lot locked inside. And I can't do that anymore. I gotta have fun. I gotta get my message across without being all stuffy and serious. I mean, over on TikTok, I have a 3 millionaire and a billionaire that I talk about every day. Because when I first started this job, you know, when I said I was one that made the least, it's because I had 3 millionaires and a billionaire. And actually, I was just told recently it was actually 2 millionaires and 2 billionaires, which I think is fantastic. That the person was willing to call and say, not really a millionaire, Karen, I'm a billionaire. Kind of got that one wrong. Beautiful, beautiful. But I talk about it because of the lessons I've learned. I've learned so many lessons. I've been so open to learn. But the biggest lesson I learned 3 years ago was you can't fix everybody. Everybody has crap in their life. Mental illness is real. It's sad. Drug abuse is real and sad. And it doesn't matter how hard you try to help that person heal, no matter how hard you try to be their friend, no matter how hard you try, they choose their path. And it's not your fault. And when they choose a path like that, and I ended up losing a lot of friends over it, people that I thought were my friend, that I learned they were not. Because if they were my friend, they would have came to me and said, you know, this is what we're hearing. Is it true? They would have had the balls to come to me and say something. Instead, they did not. And not, see, even my dog agrees. My dog's like, damn right. I kind of got off on a rail thing and said, this is a crazy podcast. I'm telling you that because through that, I've realized I got to be me. I do tarot card readings. I love tarot card readings, but I didn't talk about it that much. I do all kinds of stuff that you're going to start seeing more and more of because I got to be me. You've got to be you. If you're hiding parts of you, let it out. Your truth is here. Let your truth out. Walk on your path of your truth. Okay, I just looked. This is like 20 minutes long. Holy moly! I really hope that this helped. I hope that you got benefit from this. I hope if you walk away from one thing, you walk away knowing you've got to be you. Honor who you are, and sit down with a pencil and paper and write down, who am I? Who do I want to be? And how do I get there? And how do I get there will create a roadmap for you to follow to become who you want to be. I want you to be the best version of yourself. I hope this helped you guys. Here's to you finding your blue rose. Have a great day.